Stop.
Oh, now we're live on YouTube.
Yes, we're live on YouTube. I just hit the
It shows up right on top of Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty genius.
So I
But
think
hold on, let's check the YouTube. Here we go.
it over there. Autoplay is on. Okay. I think we're there. I'm going to leave that screen the way that it is. Oh, then all I got to do is tab here and here. I've really struggled not being able to see the live stream chat, Joey.
It's tabulous. You need multiple monitors.
Yeah, well, I'm not bringing a multiple monitor to the kitchen. Although I don't have this problem in the kitchen when we're together. Well, okay.
You know, if we were up here in the loft, we could use the TV just for YouTube.
Yeah. Well, we could do it up there.
I think the internet sucks up here.
No.
It's not as stable. Let's just say that.
All right, people are watching this. Let's actually kick this puppy in the.
Oh man, just ticking up.
We'll explain.
You kick a puppy.
All you folks that are in the live stream, we'll explain why we're so awkward and just disjointed and late today here in just a few minutes. So I'm gonna hit the button to record podcast.
I got the gout.
Ready?
Yep.
Hey everybody, I'm Brian.
I'm Joey.
Welcome to episode 34 of the Maryland Fishing Line. Today is Tuesday, January 12th, 2021. This is a podcast where we spend a little bit of time every week talking about fishing throughout Maryland from saltwater to fresh. We strive to cover it all. And normally, those of you that have watched us in the past know that Joey and I are typically and usually in the same room with each other. But tonight, we are recording virtually via Zoom because I decided, or didn't decide, I had to take a trip on a plane. And Joey today pointed out to me, he's like, we probably ought to do a Zoom podcast tonight. So we're going to be a little off our game, but it is what it is. We're going to do our best. We've got some stuff to cover and some stuff to talk about, but that's that. So how are you doing tonight, Joey?
I am doing dandy.
Good. I see you're upstairs in your office. You got that pretty redfish picture on your wall there behind you. I can see.
Oh, you saw that?
Yeah, I can see the fly tying wall you've got there above the desk there. I can see you got all sorts of stuff going on over there.
Oh man, I got the whole setup over here. I have a hand painted redfish thing up over.
I like your little lights up in the ceiling too.
They help illuminate my tie-in desk.
Cool. I got a kitchen sink behind me. I got a sink back here. So
that is a dandy.
If it gets real boring, I'll do some dishes.
Yeah. Well, if Casey's in here doing Letterkenny references, Marcus is here. Hey, Marcus. And Sean is in the live feed.
Yeah, Casey, I wish you weren't so awkward, bud. I'll come over there and talk to you.
Awkward, bud.
I'm going to come over there and talk to you.
Yeah. You got your lawn chair out there?
Before we get too deep, I do want to give a shout out to all of our sponsors. The Maryland Fishing Line is a production of the Angler Magazine Chesapeake Edition, and we are sponsored by Waterfront Marine in Edgewater, Maryland, dealing in Robalo fishing boats, Chaparral pleasure boats, and Bennington pontoon boats. You can find out more about them on their website at waterfrontmarine.com. JMJ Firearms in Mechanicsville, Maryland. Modern Air HVAC in Mechanicsville, Maryland. Robin Caballaro at Remax One, Stony Kingfishers in Solomons, Maryland, Scott's Cove Marina in Deal Island, Maryland, Huntingtown Automotive in Huntingtown, and Eat Chesapeake in Dunkirk, Rosehaven, and Bowie, otherwise known as Chesapeake Grill. You're going to find links to all of these folks in our show notes or in the show description, so make sure to let them know you heard about them here. So I do think, Joey, we probably should explain a little bit deeper as to why we're on Zoom. So my daughter goes to school in Florida, and she was home for Christmas and needed to get back to Florida. And the only way that we could really make that happen was for me to drive her down. She's a relatively inexperienced driver, so driving all the way to Florida is not something she's really comfortable doing. So I drove her down on Saturday, went straight to the airport and hopped a flight and flew back Saturday night. But anytime you fly in today's world of pandemic land, it's a good idea to do a little social distancing until you've had your COVID test. So Joey and I are not in the same room. I am in my house in the basement, and Joey is in his attic tonight. So that's why we're doing this via Zoom. And we're a little off our game, wouldn't you say, Joey? I think that's probably fair to say.
You know what you need? You need a Tesla Model S. You just hit the button and go.
Well, it was driving her car back, so I didn't have a
Well,
car.
get her a Tesla.
Well, normally, there you go. That's a good idea.
That's what I'm saying.
Fund
all the internet money.
we should fund that through maybe this year. We could, if everybody wants to send like a random couple $1,000, that'd be awesome. Fund that.
Oh, hold on. Let me get out my checkbook.
You have a checkbook? What, millennials write checks? I didn't think you guys wrote checks.
Yeah, my HOA requires me to mail checks.
Oh, that's right. We've talked about that before. You struggle with writing a check. So it is what it is. I think it's better safe than sorry. I'm getting my COVID test on Friday, so we'll be back in the fold together next week, eating Chinese food, and hopefully on time, so that we're not keeping everybody up late at night. It is what it is.
So you can't do the awkward "love you" in the parking lot. That's my neighbors hear you.
Oh, that's fun stuff. So what's going on around the state, Joey? I've seen stuff on social media
Cold.
where people are catching fish, but it seems like it's more like kind of just random, like we caught some fish, kind of, as opposed to like there's real patterns or anything really, like a strong kind of like this is where you can go to catch fish now. I'm not seeing that, except for what you.
If it's not like chain pickerel, I don't think there's anything consistent right now.
Yeah,
like chain pickerel's ridiculously consistent.
That's because this is when they bite. This is when they bite. Oh, your dad's in the live. Let's chop over to the live stream. Marcus is here. Casey's here. Sean, Phil, and your dad, Paul. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, I think that's
no Brendan today.
Kind of the thing that's going on. Oh, he's probably lurking somewhere. I'm sure he's lurking somewhere, ready to throw a bomb or something, someone or the other. What's going on in your world, Joey? Tell us all the fun things you did.
Yeah. Yeah, yesterday I woke my happy behind up. I will say I went fishing all day yesterday, and I still had 3 meals for my wife. That's how you do it.
How'd you do that,
Jessica? Well, I did pulled pork in the crock pot before I left.
Okay.
Packed her lunch. I make her sandwich every day for her, and I cooked her breakfast.
So you did it all. You're like the
did it all, and I got a full day of fishing out of that. So for the last week or two, I guess a lot. Yeah, because the week before I wasn't able to go out. I really wanted to fish Beaver Creek, which is up towards Hagerstown.
Mm-hmm.
So about 20 minutes drive from Frederick. And Beaver Creek is a spring creek, a spring-fed creek. And typically, that's how Brendan is gaming tonight. Typically, spring creeks are really hard to fish, like trout-wise. Just a different type of water. It's crystal clear. I mean, it's slow moving in areas. You have some grass, some plants that are in there. I've never been there before. I've been tying a crap ton of flies. And of course, everything I tied before, my friend Dennis is like, "Oh, you should tie this and this and this," and nothing of what I had, so I had to tie a bunch more. I looked and I learned a lot from. I'm not a good trout fisherman. I'm okay, but I'm not. I'm learning every time I go, no matter what.
Yeah.
And man, that was the hardest trout fishing I've ever done.
Wow.
That's like hands and knees crawling in some areas. Every time I saw a fish, the fish already saw me and already spooked. It's such a tight creek. Like I would say, it's not much wider than my kitchen in areas. And you kind of play this game of the public there is very okay with it, but there's a lot of private property that people let you like cross through.
Right.
So you're just making sure you're not in someone's, fence area on their farm. You're walking by donkeys and stuff. I mean, it's a beautiful place. I do want to go back soon, but mentally after I got there and I struggled, I was like, Catoctin or Big Hunting Creek is only about 20 minutes away. Mm-hmm. I said, if I don't do well by now, I'm going to work my way back to the car. And I worked my way on the stream, and I hiked down, and by the time I wanted to work my way back up, other people were on the creek, so I couldn't fish my way back up as easily. So I hit a few holes. I did hook a small brown trout, which was like went in the lottery, and I lost it. But they have everything up there from the little 6-10 inches up to they got some really big brown trout in that small water. I'm like monsters. So that's what I was looking for. But it's hard. There's a nice fly shop right on the river. They were closed yesterday. I did hit Hunting Creek Outfitters for a couple little bits before. And then I went over to Big Hunting Creek, which is at Catoctin National Park, over in Thermont, which I used to fish a lot. That's where me and all my friends would meet up. That kind of lived all over. We would that was our meeting creek, that or the Gunpowder, but it's pretty. It's definitely, it's small pockets, fast moving water. It's a beautiful place. So I got there and I fished there for like 4 hours under the careful watch of all the Marine One helicopters.
Talk about that before.
Multiple ones, yeah. So Marine One, well, there was multiple. They were flying up there because Camp David, I don't know what they were doing. Was kind of annoying because it's supposed to be nice and pretty quiet. But I did manage like 5 or 6 fish, all rainbow trout. Lost quite a bit more. So that was pretty motivational.
Now, were
Because
those
the last time you and me went, I didn't catch anything.
Oh, I didn't even see anything. Now, those waters, were those put and take, catch and release? Where
Catch and release.
Catch and release. Okay. So I know.
Yeah. So the Beaver Creek has. Actually, I don't even pay attention, and I mean as in I fish barbel hooks and I don't keep in my fish. But I believe most of Beaver Creek where I was catch and release, and they also have like a fly fishing specific section.
Okay.
And then Big Hunting Creek is, I want to say there's sections of it, but a lot of it's catch and release.
Okay.
And it's marked pretty well from what I remember. But most of Big Hunting Creek from my history is, like the size fish I posted or I sent you pictures of yesterday. And occasionally they have like a really nice population of brown trout, like native, and they get somewhat, like 12, 13 inches. I didn't see any of those yesterday, but no, it's fun. I was doing a lot of nymph and midge fishing, and then I found a small group of fish rising throughout the afternoon to some midges. So I threw some little gnat flies. They're like, like you can't even see them in your hand.
That's the one you sent me the picture. It was by a dime, and it was like you could barely even see it.
So, it was around that size. Yeah, it was that size hook.
Real small stuff.
Yeah, but in a little I was fishing a like 30-year-old Orvis 4-weight that's never hit the water before. My friend old Dennis gave it to me, I want to say like 10 years ago, and I've never actually fished it. And I had like a 40-year-old Hardy, made in England reel, an old click paw that's never really been used. It was a lot of fun. It was a nice getaway. I ended up staying longer. I called Jess, and I was on the phone with her FaceTime, and I was like, I think I see more fish riding, so like, I'm going to be later. And then I FaceTime her with one. I was like, oh, I caught a fish.
You just went to the 2 creeks?
I did fish Owens Creek before. Owens Creek is on the other side of the mountain of Catoctin. I didn't stay there long. There was a couple people there, and I just didn't. The stretch of water I haven't fished before, and I did fish a new stretch of water that I never fished at Hunting Creek, further upstream. But I was able to put everything I know together and caught some nice trout.
Good.
It was freaking cold. I don't think it got above 32 up there. You're just in waders and even a sweatshirt and a puffy jacket. It was still cold. Your hands are wet. I think I was telling you on the last podcast, if you take Pam or like a cooking spray and you spray down your guides ahead of time, they don't freeze up, and you can spray your line and do stuff to your line so it doesn't freeze.
Okay.
But there's definitely ice.
Well, it sounds like
that was my rundown.
Sounds like you had a good day. And anytime you can get out,
I loved it
in January and actually catch fish, that's a good day. That's a good day.
That was my first fish of the year.
Yeah, first fish. I haven't even been out this year. I'll get out. I've just been trying to get so much of the work product done to prep for the
Mm.
spring that I haven't really thought about fishing at all quite yet. Hey, you got anything else you wanted to yak about?
Yeah.
See what I did there? I was just going to jump over into my little section there, but
well, I'm starting a new club. Well, I already have the club, and I have a membership. Just kidding.
So I do. I want to introduce something, and hopefully some of our listeners it will be familiar. With Maryland Kayak Outfitters, I got a lot of requests for people that saying they wanted like a membership program for the kayak rentals. They wanted like a punch card system for the kayak rentals. So I've been like racking my brain trying to figure out how to make this work. And I've shared this with a few people that have expressed an interest in the past, just trying to get a little bit of feedback. What I've done, and I'll kind of try to elevator pitch it, and then we can do a little deeper dive into it if people have got questions. Associated with Maryland Kayak Outfitters, I've started what I am calling the Fort Hill Kayak Anglers. It's going to be a membership-driven organization. So you join Fucka, and then once you've joined, you become a member of Fucka, and you are a Fucka at that point. And FHKA. That's
the what?
I want to stop. I don't want to go too far with that. That's going to get us in trouble.
I never heard it out. I've never heard it like that.
I gotta set you like a million things with that on it.
Well, we're kicked off.
So yeah, we're just banned from YouTube. Sorry, everybody. We won't be back again. No, it's a membership thing. So you pay $30 a year, and I'm going to like dump swag on people: stickers, T-shirts, access to a private Facebook group where I'm going to share tips for the creek and tips for fishing in general. So it's kind of a membership thing. But then once you are a member, you have the ability to buy either 5 or 10 rental bundles for the kayaks, to use the kayaks in that manner. So you have to be a member. Once you're a member, you can then purchase the ability or you have the opportunity to purchase either 5 kayak rentals in a bundle or 10. And that it comes with a pretty substantial discount. It's like a 20% discount on the 5 and a 25% discount on the 10. So you can save a lot of money if you want to use the boats a lot during the course of a season. Makes sense?
If you sell this to your friends and they sell it to their friends.
Yeah. No, you could purchase, and I actually got this question today. Can I purchase like a 10 bundle and then share it with my friends and my family? Absolutely, of course. You're a member, you buy them, and then you buy them. You can use them any which way you want. So, makes sense? I kind of been racking my brain. I think it works. I'm looking for some feedback. And
can I bring my own kayak?
So I am not going to be running private kayaks. Part of my problem here on the creek where I'm at is access to the water. And it's honestly one of the benefits of what I'm doing. St. Leonard Creek is not a lot of public access, and it's a beautiful creek full of fish, and it's hard to get a boat on there. So yeah, I'm watching the live stream too.
It's like, listen here, fucker. I believe that's what Sean's referring to. Sorry.
I don't know. I am looking for founding fuckas though. You be a founding fucka.
Oh man.
But there is a tie-in with Fort Hill. Fort Hill, this place that I live is the site of the Fort Hill Battery that was a part of the war of 1812.
Energizer?
And so there's a tie-in to Fort Hill. But I do want it to be kind of a social thing. You're going to have access to that Facebook group where you'll be able to share tips and tricks within like a limited group of people. And then, our guides that or myself or something, we're going to be providing sort of input on that as well. So I think it's going to be an interesting thing, and I hope it goes over well. I know a lot of people have been asking for the discounted punch cards, and here it is. So there
Do
we go.
you are you gonna offer like the Sunday afternoon crab feast when you're done?
No, although I do want to do some social things if COVID allows it. I want it to be, a very much a social club, so that we could do a cookout, or we could do a this, or do a something. I had some people suggest possibly putting little. It may have been you, Joey, talking about putting little ice fishing rods on the boats.
Oh yeah.
Have like a little daily contest to see who can catch the biggest fish on a little 2-foot ice fishing rod, kind of stuff like that. So some fun stuff. I just want it to be an interesting thing, and it was a unique way to provide that bundled approach to boat usage. It's almost like you see it done with sailboats, and you see it done with power boats, where people have like sort of these timeshares, so to speak. And this is kind of what it comes down to. So I talked to Fair Harbor. Thank you, Joey, for that connection. And I'm getting ready to get everything set up. And then once we do that, we'll be actually able to begin rolling and taking reservations. So once you buy your bundle, you actually then just go to the reservation system through Fair Harbor on the website, select your days, and you just get a coupon where it doesn't cost you anything. So it's kind of how it's going to work. And cross my fingers it'll be something that people will get interested in, because I think it could be a whole lot of fun. I think it could be a tremendous amount of fun. So enough on that. I'm going to have something on.
Sounds like a fuck amount of fun.
I'm going to have something on the website here shortly. And then I'll hopefully get some real feedback on that. So
what's your website?
MarylandKayakOutfitters.com. Thank you, Joey.
You totally lost the opportunity on www.fucka.com.
No, it's probably already taken. I'm sorry. It's already taken. I'm actually going to probably end up regretting that.
You should buy that domain. Actually, I'll buy it and I'll sell it to you. I'm going on GoDaddy right now.
I'm going to end of the day. I think I'm going to regret having done what I've done here.
Well, what's done is done.
What's done is done. It's out there. So we got this really unique question, and everybody, we are kind of like struggling tonight with the whole Zoom thing, so we're a little off our game. Anything going on in the live stream, Joey? I haven't really been watching it too much. Yeah,
let's see. We have some good first time fucka over here. Yeah. Take my fucka money. Fucka brother. Gotta find the fucka fish.
Oh dear Lord. What have I done? A fucka for life option, Phil. That's interesting. I don't even know how I would shape that. And what happens if all of a sudden it doesn't work and I have to sell all my boats? I'm not sure that's a great idea.
Well, any life members just automatically get a Titan 10.5.
Yeah, there we go. I don't know how I could make that work, but maybe. You never know. I actually think some of these fuckers are going to turn into actual fishing guides for me. I think that's an opportunity exists there as well.
Well, you got a fucking fleet.
No, it's, I could always add more fucking boats. Off we go. We stop it. I'll
sell you some more.
I got to stop this. I got to stop it. We got this question from Marcus. He wanted us to talk a little bit about capsizing a kayak.
It's not a matter of if it's going to happen, when.
Okay.
Now, if it's your fucka kayak, you're pretty
strapping everything down.
All right.
So what kind of input, Joey, do you have on that topic?
For real, though, it's not a matter of if. I think it's a matter of when. Now, provided maybe you're in a Titan or one of these gigantic boats, it's very hard to.
Yeah.
But it also means it's going to be very hard. Oh, my God. Ted is here. He heard the whole fucka thing. If you do happen to flip one of these bigger ones, though, it's going to be some work flipping it back.
Yeah.
So my biggest advice before I go too deep into it is back when I got certified and everything a long time ago. Mm-hmm. The biggest thing is practicing. Probably not the best thing to do right now. Trust me, it's a little cold outside.
What do you do now?
I think my best piece of advice is when it's nice outside, just before the jellyfish, if we have them or not this year, is to do it on purpose in a nice area.
Okay.
Whether it's like the Solomon's Beach or somewhere like that. So go out there, take everything off the kayak. Realistically, you're not going to have that option, but strip it of any valuables. Just leave the seat. Don't even take a paddle. Do it where you can walk into the water and just capsize it. That way, you know what you're dealing with if it were to happen.
Yeah.
If it really were to happen, I mean, I was going to say Fucka something, but your host, you have stuff all over, but you should have an understanding of what to do. Luckily, as far as kayak fishing, most of us use sit-on tops, which self-drain. So the worst case scenario, you flip it, it's full of water, pull the plugs. Now, boats like Marcus's are going to react different than mine. So like my Titan, even compared to your Titans and my dad's, my front hatch isn't like fully sealed. It's more like water resistant versus water, like sealed up. So mine might fill up a little bit more water quickly than yours, just because of my front hatch. Yeah. But like the Titan 10.5s use like a sealed hatch.
Yeah, and it's also made with the
less likely water's going to leak in there. The Titan built water and still float. They have a foam core injection on the inside, so you can literally fill it. They're like a Boston whaler.
So kind of what I'm I want to recap real quick what I heard from you.
No, you're going to capsize.
I want to recap. So it's a good idea to practice. You're saying practice and strip the boat down.
Practice.
Go out with probably want to have a friend or somebody with you. You kind of need to be in deeper water, but probably somewhere that's a little quieter and has ready access to some shallower water in case you really can't get it back, can't get it flipped.
Correct.
And half of the battle is getting it flipped, and then the other half is getting back in it.
Oh yeah. Try flipping a Titan 12 back over.
I can't even imagine. I watched a guy, I guess it was November-ish, the November window. And I was on my bike down on the island, and there was a guy out at CBL, and he had come out of his sit inside, and he had spent all kind of effort trying to get that thing. I remember actually seeing the boat sticking straight up in the air, and that water's not deep right there, but it was cold. It was November. And finally he gave up and kind of just ended up walking the boat back up to the rocks at the end of the
island. If I'm in the shallows at CBL, it's like waist deep. I'm going to walk.
Yeah. You're
all the way back.
So maybe that's what you do, is to evaluate exactly where you are and what's your best, option at that point. Is to either, I can grab a line that's on this boat. Do you keep a line tied to your boat?
I have rope in it, but I don't have any, if I want to attach it, I can.
But you don't keep it tied to the boat. See, I keep.
No, I feel like that's it's like a drowning hazard.
In what way? What do you mean?
All right, you fall in, you get tangled up in that rope.
Okay, so I keep
attached to the boat, you get pulled under. I don't know. There's 20 different things that can happen.
I keep a short line tied up on the bow of the boat. And there's no way if I came out of that boat, it's not long enough where I'm tangled up in it. But if
that's an old man handle.
Yeah, exactly. If I needed to swim that boat back to shore, I could grab that line, and it would not give me the opportunity without having to struggle with trying to hold onto the boat to move the boat in the water. Yeah, Kyle said self-rescue ladders. I don't know that much about that idea, but I mean it's pretty self-explanatory. Something that goes over the boat. I'm assuming that you use your body weight to both pull the boat up.
So it's actually it is somewhat hard to get back in because you don't realize how much energy you put out. So say it's colder, your body goes into shock. On purpose, I jumped off my so when I was paddleboard fishing before my native, I hopped into the Mad Woman in May when it was really cold.
Yeah.
You don't realize the shock your body hits with that. You use a lot of energy, so sometimes pulling yourself up and into these boats is a lot of work.
Right.
That being said, I do believe everyone should always wear a life jacket like all year. That should help you take a chill, calm yourself down, and evaluate the situation.
And then the 120 rule, if the air temperature and the water temperature are below 120, so 60-degree air temperature, 60-degree water temperature, you should be in some form of a dry suit.
Well, combination should equal 120.
Right, exactly what I'm saying. Air temperature.
Yeah. Oh, yes, it does have to be 60-60.
Yeah. It could be 50, 70, or whatever the number might be. If it's below 120, that combination of the two, you want something that will protect you from that water when you go in. And that's going to be kind of a hard and fast rule for me with my operations is we're not going to operate if that combination is below that 120.
That's every paddle shop's rules.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen.
That's ours when we put in and pull out.
Yeah.
But I think the best thing people could do is practice.
Yeah. And safety in numbers.
Yep.
If you're with somebody, you've got a much better opportunity to survive something like that because you've got somebody else that can deal with, okay, forget about the boat. You get yourself to shore. Don't worry about the boat.
Forget about it.
Yeah. Somebody else can go get the boat or somebody else can get to you if that's the priority, whatever it be. Forget about the boat. It's definitely, something to think about.
The other thing you should do is think about all your stuff in your boat if you were to flip. Do you have it all secured down, this or that kind of stuff? So whereas when I'm teaching people on like regular recreational kayaks, they don't have all the crap we do.
Right.
So that's a little bit easier to do classes with them on. But when it comes to, you guys, I don't think I do, but you guys take a lot of crap.
Well,
look at all your camera equipment.
Yeah. Yeah. There's also a thing where, if something like that happens, you've got to evaluate what it is a priority, because if I flipped and I'm not going to lose my boat or lose my life over my cameras, it's just not going to happen.
I hopped in Woman for a GoPro.
Well, in some instances, I view those as disposable items. They're very expensive disposable items, but they're not performing their function if they're not being put in harm's way. Does that make sense? And it's a risk that you kind of assume and you take on. I lost a GoPro, one of the first GoPro 8 I had back in the spring. The Yak Attack boom pole came undone and the camera took a drink and I had open ports for camera batteries and done. It's the nature of what it is that you do when you get out there and you do that. So
the other thing, sorry.
I was just saying it's you evaluate what's important and what's not.
Yeah. I don't, do you carry a throwaway bag?
No, what's that?
Oh man. So I have a dry bag that sits in the hull of my boat.
Yeah, I have one.
I have a turkey baster, a sponge. I have a small first aid kit. I have one of those quick dry towels, and I have just a regular pair of change of clothes.
Yeah, no. I wasn't familiar with the term. I actually do have that in sort of my back hatch.
I just shove it in the hole, and if I need it, I'll get it.
I also carry spare prop pins, a couple of spare props, a wrench to be able to remove the prop. So a couple additional things that I carry in there.
I should put some flares in there.
We can have wars. We can have flare wars. We're not catching fish. Flare wars.
The next time I'm down south of the border, I'm gonna get some bottle rockets. You're gonna forget about it, but we're getting in the water. I'm gonna shoot them at you.
Yeah, your dad's right. Life first, boat second, if possible. Replace everything else. Yeah, that's it. You just got to prioritize, and maybe you actually, if you're on that edge of that 120, you just you don't do some things.
You don't go.
Yeah, you're very careful about water conditions. Wind is the worst thing that can jump up and bite you. But you've always got boat wakes that can come up and bite you too. I mean, you're not paying attention. You're looking one direction. The speedboat comes by because they seem to like to buzz kayak folks. And all of a sudden,
Who doesn't?
your weight's off balance and over you go. It's a pretty easy thing to have happen, especially if you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Definitely something to be mindful of.
You know, I keep a dive knife on my life jacket.
I actually have one now too. I have a dive knife on my life jacket. It's got the blunt tip, one side serrated and one side sharp, and it just clips on. So in case you need to yank that and cut something, talking about getting hung up in something.
That John Rambo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it makes you look tough too.
Yeah.
Big knife.
I feel like, well, you carrying around a knife. Well, I don't know how big your dive. I mean, it's.
Oh no, it's the same thing.
Oh.
It's, but at the same time.
I got mine from the nice guy at the scuba shop next door.
Oh, nice.
And when he's like, I know you. And I'm like, I know you too, buddy. He's like, I work next door. He's like, that really is kind of how it went down now. It's like, I'm here for a knife.
Yes, I think it's one of those things. Don't be scared of that, but I think educate yourself on it. Know what you're doing. I think it's responsible. Know what you would do in case something happened. I hope that answered the question, but at the same time, I don't want to scare people thinking that it's the worst thing that can ever happen.
We used to have these things called naval battles on Solomon's, or full on purpose would flip each other out, and the amount of people that would try to call like cops and Coast Guard on because they thought we were. I'm very experienced at flipping and getting back into kayaks, especially the really small, recreational boats.
Yeah, they'll sit on tops. I mean,
those sometimes can be harder or easier to get back into.
You're pulling yourself up into the middle and then rolling so your butt's in the bottom and then you spin. I mean, it's not.
Oh, it's not as easy as it sounds, especially when there's water in it.
It sounds a lot easier than it actually is, and that was especially if it's a sit.
It's fun. I mean, I will say it.
Casey said, proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. That's my girl. Hey, Joey, did you ever get, speaking of that, did you ever get your second COVID test or your second COVID shot vaccine?
No, not yet. It's like 3 weeks after.
Okay, so you got another week or so before you get it, and made me think about it because Casey is lined up.
Gap. We're supposed to get an email.
Okay. Good deal. So let's actually do our this or that's this week, Joey. I apologize, everybody. We're, like I said earlier, a little off of our game with this whole Zoom thing. It's just, it's a little weird, and we may come up a little short this week, but that's okay. You want to do this or that's, Joey?
Oh, man, if you should practice drowning.
What?
It's just thinking. We had one of those naval battles this summer with a couple good friends, and my friend Dan's now wife. I blacked out a little bit underwater. That's the closest I guess it was last year. I think I ever came to drowning.
You gotta be a little
really brought some light in my eyes on how extreme I can go. So anyway, let's go to this or that. Say don't practice drowning, but
Joey, and of course everybody in the live stream, please play along. Fly fishing in the winter or fly fishing in the summer, Joey?
Actually, what type of fly fishing?
No, okay, you can clarify. What would you say? I don't know. That's not my world.
Well, I love trout. I don't like trout fishing in the middle of summer, but I obviously fly fish all the summer on the bay. Mm-hmm. I love when it's cold and going up to a stream or something. I like when there's no leaves on the trees. I like when it's gray and overcast, kind of like the doom and gloom days. Yeah. It's like like yesterday was perfect.
Like the day that we had that you and I went up to Gunpowder.
Perfect weather.
It was
the snow day.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, you didn't catch any fish, but honestly, it really didn't matter because you were out in snow-covered streams fishing. It was really cool. So, I would actually go with winter. I think for me personally, Robert.
It's fun. I'll say.
Robert said.
Yeah, Robert said winter.
Casey said nothing is ever better in the winter. Cold is not fun. She's my girl.
Well. I mean, look at this. Winter can be gloomy, dark, depressing. Yeah. What better to cheer you up with than going out to a nice stream?
I agree.
Throw on a Brad Pitt movie. River runs through it the night before.
Okay. Second item on this week's is that flying in a plane during a pandemic or driving 2,000 miles in 2 days.
Did you do both? How far? No, Florida's not 2,000 miles.
It's about 1,000.
Was that like 700?
When I do it's about 1,000. When I do the down and back in 2 days, it's miles in 2 days. And that was my dilemma because I could have rented a car and just drove back. But man,
could you use the pooper on the plane?
What?
The pooper, the bathroom.
Of course you could. I'm
gonna go plane.
I don't think I would, but
you never have to worry about where to stop.
The flying thing wasn't that bad. It was fine. Although I don't mind the driving either. It's kind of, you get in this mindset. It's about 13 hours to Orlando, and you just kind of put your head down and you drive, and as long as you stay out of the accident zones, all is good. That's a lot of miles on a vehicle too, is the other thing. So I don't know. Flying actually seemed like the right solution in this. I just hope I come back with no COVID. So let's see. Phil, 2,000 miles in 2 days. Yeah, Sean, definitely drive. Robert, drive. Listen to Maryland Fishing Line all the way. Good job, Robert. I like that. Yeah, I actually more much preferred. I'm not afraid of flying. I don't mind flying. I don't like the hassle of flying. That's my thing. Joey, did you lock up?
Jeez.
Up? Oh, you came back.
The flying's always a pain. I just posted. I had some memories pop up on some multiple trips. Mm-hmm. I never get anywhere where my baggage makes it. I don't know. I don't like flying a lot. We did.
Even when I flew out to the Grand Canyon to do I did the 2 weeks in the Grand Canyon, led those bike tours. I did everything carry on, but put everything in my bike box. So as long as my bike showed up, I was solid. So I didn't have to worry about anything. And you can pack a lot of stuff into a bike box. It's going to fly. Absolutely. That was the way to do that. Okay.
I always fly with my helmet and shoes and pedals in my book bag.
Yeah, I just wear the helmet.
just in case you get there.
Yeah.
I don't know. We did that in Emporia, that 1,000+ mile day to Kansas a couple, years ago. That was a struggle with a couple people staying awake.
Ooh.
I don't know how you do that.
What? Driving all the way?
1,000 miles in a day.
I don't know. Just it's like I said, it's a mindset. It's a put your head down and off.
Don't put your head down.
It's true. Third item on this week's this or that: tying your own flies or swatting flies at dinner.
Oh, swat them flies at dinner.
I don't know. I couldn't come up with anything, and I thought that was funny. And I know I was trying to find tie-ins for you from your adventure yesterday.
My adventure.
Yeah. Could you use the flies that you swat at dinner to catch trout?
Sure, I don't see why not. But they usually don't eat like house, like flies.
What do they eat then? Oh, they eat little midges and hatches and little weird stuff like that.
So I was throwing the last fly of the day. It's called a griffin's gnat. So it looks like a little gnat, but like these things are like freaking no-see-ums, and like that's how the fly is too. It's
how you tie that on a piece of line.
What I've noticed though, I've been tying a lot of those like size 18 to 22s. Uh-huh. And the more I tie that, the less small they seem. And it's easy to, even tie it to your tippet. Uh-huh. It's actually really easy to handle. And now I was tying up some saltwater flies the other day and they seem huge. And I go through that pattern, but like, I caught a couple trout yesterday. I went on called a pheasant tail nymph. Mm-hmm. So tied the nymph myself. The pheasant feathers I got from a pheasant I shot with my dad, cool. And all that stuff. So it's like a whole circle. So that's like prime, medieval man kind of like whatever you want to call that. Oh yeah, shot bird provide food with fish.
Okay, anybody in the line? That's kind of a random weirdo. I don't know that.
And it's rewarding to catch something you made.
Yeah. Joey, would you rather go ice fishing or fish on a crowded head boat?
How'd you like that one?
That's a good one.
I have zero desire to go ice fishing. I mean, I don't know if you can go fishing on a big old crowded head boat this time of year with COVID, but I think I'm going to go with the big old boat.
I would go with the crowded head boat. I have no desire either to ice fish. I don't.
I've been seeing that. Who's that girl? Carrie Fisher. What?
Christine Fisher.
She's been doing a lot of ice fishing.
Actually, I haven't caught any of her latest videos.
I haven't seen her videos. I just been
Following on Instagram.
Yeah.
Ice fishing. I just don't get it. I don't. I guess maybe if I did it, if I had somebody that knew what they were doing and took me out and we did it, and then maybe I'd kind of like understand better. Like most things, until you do it or until you do it right, you don't have an idea. But I know the world of a crowded head boat. So I would probably prefer the world that I know, the world that I don't know. Oh, wow. Did we answer wrong? I just popped over into the live stream. Ice, Sean, ice, Robert, ice, Paul, ice, Phil, ice, Casey, ice. She didn't even know what she's talking about. She doesn't trust that many people with hooks and lines that close together. Okay, that makes sense. But lots of ice fishing. I guess maybe because you're sitting in a little hut and it's heated. And
yeah, let's heat up the ice.
That doesn't make any. This is counterproductive to me. Let's put a little box over top it and heat everything up and then fall through the ice.
It's like outside seating, Brian.
nice callback, Robert. The comedic, the tangles are a fucka. That's funny.
Yeah. You remember when you were in that callback phase?
Oh yeah, everything was a callback.
Just like earlier, or the last year on the Gravel podcast.
Yeah, everything was a callback. Callback, Joey.
Everything's callback. I don't know, something about ice. I just think ice, man.
I feel like cold. No, doesn't do it for me. Doesn't do it.
Yeah, it's Iceman. Yeah. Maverick.
So that wraps up our this or that's, Joey. I feel like I don't want to say throwaway week, but we're here. We faced adverse.
It was a Fucka week.
Yeah, we faced adverse conditions and we're doing our thing. We're late. It's almost 9:00, Joey. It is like an hour and a half past your bedtime. It's crazy time, but we're here and we're entertaining people, or at the very least, entertaining ourselves. And that's all that matters.
If I turn up my gain, you can hear my wife sawing wood down there. She's freight train.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because we're so late. We're so late. All right.
No, I'm usually in bed by now.
We're going to shut this thing down. Joe, do you have anything else before we shut it down?
Well, I can keep going, but I will be back at Beaver Creek here in the next week or two. So stay tuned. I also thought how hard it is to make a video if I were to do that. So no video.
It's hard. It's hard. Those people that are doing that and then making that content, man, it's kudos. Folks, if you're looking to get in touch with us, facebook.com/Angler Magazine Chesapeake, on Instagram at Chesapeake Angler. You can find me at BN Rains. Joey, how can folks get in touch with you?
Are you drinking alcohol tonight?
Nope.
No, this is my first drink since last podcast because of the trainer. Sorry. I am at Joey Skorsky 24 on the gram.
Pack Paddle Sports?
Oh, yeah, Pack Paddle Sports.
If you're looking for a kayak, get a hold of Joey.
Yeah, sorry. I did have a guy come. I've had multiple people come in surprised I still had that. I actually had a bona fide in stock.
Nice.
Yeah.
YouTube.com/Chesapeake Angler. And of course, you can read the e-magazine online at ChesapeakeAnglerMag.com. I am putting the February edition together right now. So if anybody has bragboard pictures, please send them to me at theanglerchesapeake@gmail.com.
Oh, I'm going to send my trout one in.
Yeah, actually send me a high res. You texted me that picture, but send me a higher resolution version of it and I'll make sure that you get it.
Oh, I'll send you a higher res something.
In the magazine. Okay, so then until next week, folks, we're going to go ahead and shut this thing down. Thank you, everybody, for joining.
Shut this fucker down.
And we will talk to you next week. We're not doing that anymore. That is going to leave. That's out of the vernacular.
That was the last fucker one.
Good night, everybody.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye. Okay, live stream people, thank you very much for hanging around with us. And we very much appreciate it. And we'll talk to you next week. Oh, Russell came in just as we were shutting down. Sorry about that, Russell.
Sorry, Russell. Let's just start over.
You get a repeat. Well, you can go back and listen to it, but it's more fun when you do it live. All right. Thanks everybody on the live stream. We'll talk to you next week. See you, Joey.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, bye, Brian.
That's right. When I hit the button, we all go away.
Oh, yeah.
Figured out. I haven't figured out how to the live stream thing through the Zoom. That's why I hate Zoom, but it's there, right? It's there. So that's it. All right. Good night.
We should do like a happy hour after.
That'd be fun.
Not now. Like it really is past my bedtime, but it'd be pretty fun one night if we announced it.
Just to do a live stream happy hour. We could actually shut the live. Oh, we can't keep the live stream down. We have to keep the live stream.
Oh, we would do something. We could do it before too.
We could actually do a Zoom happy hour.
Oh, we talked about it in the bike one, and luckily it just faded into the past.
But if we did it like right on the end of the live stream and then launched a Zoom and actually did it just on.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do that.
And Zoom keeps us to like, a set time too.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. All right, everybody. We're actually going now. Love you. Bye.